Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome to the best moose moments caught on camera, which is certainly nice to hear about considering all too often I'm just hearing negative moose this, moose statistic that, and so surely these beautiful and just massive and incredible beasts can bring something positive to the world.
Pointless to drive through here with no food, I know, but you are so
connect to Bluetooth.
Hi.
Look at the size of
You're
it.
so handsome. Go, go!
Oh no. What do I want? Okay. Yeah. Who's that tax truck? Honestly, it's fair enough. Oh god. Yeah. I wonder, looking at that, it looks as though their windscreen has already been smashed in to some degree, and I wonder if that is a direct correlation from what we're seeing here, or if it is from a previous thing. Regardless, I can understand the kind of predicament that you're going to be in there, because they can clearly see they're not driving fast, they're not trying to cause any harm to the animal, they're just trying to get around it to get out of this situation, so further damage isn't done to anyone. And then meanwhile the moose is, I guess, just using this as an entire walking track, and so it doesn't just move off the path, it stays its ground, especially just given the I forget what they're called. Are they foals? I mean, honestly, they don't even look like moose, they look like deer. They're so lean though. They're incredibly lean. I cannot believe that a moose is even ever that lean. Like, a moose is, like I said, they're such stocky, and as we saw here, huge animals that just see them so tiny. Oh, no wonder that Moose Dad wants to protect, because it kind of has to. I reckon a hawk could take that thing away. But then no, coming back to the first one, I can only imagine that this guy does see quite a few cars on his travels. I mean, for one, he's not running away. Two, he's not attacking the car. And three, he didn't just summon the moose army behind him. Oh, I mean, maybe they did, and that's why they were saying go, go, go. Perhaps this entire thing was just a setup, and they just managed to maybe get out of there. Unless this is almost like black box footage. Regardless, they just listen to this call again. Oh, I can understand how you're going to be freaked out by that. That is a intimidating sound nonetheless, as you don't really know what it entails next. Oh, hang on a second. Did these guys actually manage to get by? Oh, not really. Oh, get out of here. It's chasing him. Oh my goodness. I knew that they were fast. Oh, baby moose from nearly.
Hey buddy.
Look at him.
Hey buddy. It's okay. Let her go. See you later, buddy.
Oh. I wonder.
Start walking. I know you're cold.
Where's it?
Come on, keep going.
Mom
You're good.
gonna be though.
I think she'll warm up quick.
Keep moving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've got about another 6 weeks to go to raise the money.
Oh.
So people should visit
Hopefully nothing bad happened.
Wow, look at the baby.
Oh, it's so little.
I don't want her to charge my truck.
Oh, it's so little. It can barely walk. Hang on a second. That is some Canadian looking stuff if I've ever seen it. Just when a backyard membership includes showers. Fair enough, but look at that. My goodness, that antler structure. I guess that is before it loses its skin, which I feel as though just not enough people in this world know. I only, I guess, realistically recently heard about the fact that the skin and the bone structure underneath gets rejuvenated and lost and grows back and all those kind of things. Like the traditional almost Christmas moose and deer and reindeer and everything like that have their, I guess, skinned antlers so they don't look as threatening. But then, of course, you go to the other end and it's just these massive horns, and then they lose that. Like, the amount of energy it takes to regrow that must be astronomical, and they do it once a year from what I've heard. So that's just insane. It's not like it's different breeds, it's just different seasons. But then once again, I just have to come back to this because it's so little. I could watch that over and over and over again. I mean, like I said, I can only hope that nothing bad has happened in terms of cars and animals being involved. It doesn't look like it. It just looks like the baby is literally unable to walk. It is so young, and I would love to know how small or how old is that foal, I'm going to call it, because is it 2 days? Is it 30 minutes? I have no idea, but that mum is doing her best just to go, come on, we need to not be in the black tarmac anymore. Maybe just anywhere else. And then, of course, this one is also one that confuses me a little bit, but it's also miraculous, because did they see it upstream and then paddle down? Or how's that entire situation worked? Because to be beating the rapids in any regard is going to be pretty darn ridiculous. I mean, we saw how fast That moose is moving through the water, and no wonder it's just going to be completely trapped in the water. That's completely out of the question, just being able to get itself out like that, especially being so young. And so I guess over the course of history, this would have happened probably millions of times, hundreds of thousands of times, but this lucky lady, from what they said, was just able to get rescued, and I just hope that it was able to be then reunited with its family and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it kind of looks around as though, okay, now what? Because I'm not particularly just going to be living out here on my own at this age, but at least I'm out of the cold, damp water, that's for sure. Well, let's just have a look. What is this going to be? How has it even got in there? Is it... I can't imagine it as a pet, but maybe it's domesticated, so to say, or at least certainly knows what's going on here. I guess... I mean... Okay, I was about to say I don't know if they're really smart enough, but I guess moose can also be smart enough to use the traffic lights. My goodness, everyone just went, you know what? Not stuffing with it. Not with that massive once again. That antler structure just blows me away. I just cannot believe that they grow and lose that every year, unless that isn't something that moose do, unless that is something that only reindeer do and some of the other animals, maybe caribou and things like that. Maybe either way, I do think that it's an incredible feat for these animals just to be regrowing that much bone every single year. And I'm going to call it bone for the sake of bone's sake. But the fact that everyone here just respects the fact that the moose is just trying to cross it, kind of knows the interaction, and that I guess there'd be a certain trust that it has to develop over the course of however long, just going, okay, these things will stop and these things hopefully do know I'm here. I mean, at least it's a moose, so it's a bit easier to see size-wise than maybe some of the other ones, but it's just these animals that you trust them to cross the road, and you trust them in your backyard, just watering them for some reason. I don't even understand that. Obviously, the previous one we saw was in the water. This one just now wants to be hosed down like it's a horse, just watering the horses. So do you water the mooses like you water the horses? I feel as though they're not the same animal. Either way, they don't seemingly mind being domesticated and using their lavish life, you know, traffic lights, hose, to sign them up. Oh, here we go. Just in the front yard, just going at it. See, but though, are they moose? They look small. Okay, I was about to say they look small, and then for some reason they just, as soon as they went next to the car, they just grew about twice their size. Look at that. Pinned. Oh. Ow. So let his leg go. Oh. Oh no. Oh, and then like a bull in a china shop just attacking all the red. I can understand that would be a thing. I'm surprised it's not... I guess it didn't have its antlers, did it? Look at this. Yeah, it's completely nude. Oh, it's just got no headwear. Certainly just Santa's just approval right there in the plane. I don't really get where the plane's coming from, but the fact that that thing is just taking a beating from the moose, and I do wonder how long it took for it to either give up or just deflate. Because obviously, as we can see here, I mean, it looks like it might be wrapping up around about there. But they have torn that yard to smithereens. You can see all the hoof prints, unless there's been an entire herd of moose in there. Regardless, it looks like there has been 1,000,001 different hooves just tearing that ground up. And yes, it's a pretty dead lawn, so I mean, it doesn't have much structure, but that's a lot of digging that's just been done there. So it then does make me wonder, where is this being filmed, or where are these people living to where the moose are just so easily accessible? You know, some of these videos are filmed on roads in national parks, and that completely makes sense as to where you're going to be encountering them there. But for this just to be having a territorial clash, meanwhile, there's just two neighbors just filming this side by side, or maybe just multiple neighbors if that's a big building, I just don't see how non-remote that would be. I mean, it's not like, let's say in Australia, you don't just get, depending on who you talk to, some kangaroo just going down the street. I mean, not in the city at least. If you were to go a bit more rural, then you can definitely start to have those kind of things happening. But I've never seen a kangaroo that is as big as a moose, thank goodness for that, and I feel as though those animals need more space, more roaming room, and so I don't understand how remote are these people living, and are they just living in national parks, or are moose just that abundant?
There's a moose.
Moose lives at an airport? Hang on, what airport? Where? What's going on here? Like I was saying, are they seriously just this abundant, or did this guy just get stuffed around with his car booking and now we can't find it? The hire car company just didn't accommodate larger passengers, and they're like, oh, well, that, my goodness, that's not what I expected. Why, it feels like that lawnmower was about to cop it. But this poor moose just strolling around the airport. What airport is just that close. I mean, I guess some airports are very rural, but every single airport I've ever encountered has been very meticulously fenced off to stop, I mean, any kind of animals. I mean, the birds are maintained through dogs and through eagles and things like that, let alone massive moose just coming on board. I guess it's not on the runway, but even for it to get there, is it jumping fences? Is it climbing up on cars? How did it get to there? Because you got to think about it from the moose's brain going, oh, this is not a greeny leafy area whatsoever. I mean, yes, they have probably seemingly seen cars before, but that's a different story. To be at an airport compared to just on a back road or even on a national parks road. It's at an airport, for goodness sake. It's a different universe. But now let's just have a look at this albino one. Look at this, Lawnmowers, the natural moose predator, known for just taking them out for, oh, poor thing. Oh no, poor Lawnmower copped it, man. Oh, just cleaning the truck. Is it a salt lick perhaps? Is that what it's going after, like a cow? I don't really know if that's a thing that they do. Oh, I've never seen that before. I guess I've never really paid that much attention, but the snow that is caught in the antlers, of course, they're just giant bowls, but it's just so stuck there. It's not like it's not moving its head around. And the fact that it hasn't melted, it must be cold, but these animals just live there. But oh, I've just realized actually how much of the truck it has managed to lick. I thought it was, I don't know, a bit of, I wouldn't call it rust, but some kind of oxidization. But no, that's just, I guess, cleaning the dirt off, licking the dirt off. So it must be salty or something. What other reason would it have to be doing that? Oh, there are just so many quirks to these animals, and they're amazing to see, but they're also very random. From just going to an airport to licking an F450, they have it all. They're really just fully integrated into human society when you see things like this. I mean, I do also want to know if that poor lawnmower is still alive and with us today, because I cannot imagine that many things are going to be able to survive. Let's just say and compare it to a horse kick. It's generally not recommended that people get kicked by a horse, let alone a moose kick. Probably pretty comparable, and that was a stamp, not even a kick. I don't know how comparable that would be, but I would not want to be on the firing line of it either. And that thing, I mean, let's be honest, it was moving and it stopped moving, and I don't blame it for not moving anymore. Regardless of whether it's alive or dead, it goes, I'm not just going to be any kind of predator to you, Mr. Moose, anymore. Oh, look, they're a little bit bigger, but they're just loving the sprinklers. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're so assimilated with human technology and everything that they're just hanging out using a sprinkler in the same way that you've seen 1,000,001 other families do ever. Moose team plays with a deflated ball. Is it playing? Is it confused? Is it scared? I guess there's multiple things that it couldn't be, but it does certainly seem to go back for multiple rounds, and also not just constantly stomp it and charge it or anything like that. It kind of goes up, sniffs it, then plays and jumps around. I don't know if it's just missing, it needs a little bit more coordination training, perhaps between its four legs, as it is only still a teenager, so that may be fair enough. But what is going on here in terms of all of these mooses just being so assimilated with human technology, from a basketball looking thing to a sprinkler? I cannot get over this one. The fact that the mum and the dad, or whatever it may be, and the kids are playing in the sprinkler, that is I don't know if it's a worldwide pastime, but it is absolutely an Australian pastime, running around under the sprinkler. And these ones are just copying it. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they've seen someone done it and they've seen people screaming in a good way, just enjoying themselves, and they go, you know what? Someone's left this one on. I reckon we'll just do it. And I guess from the other one, maybe they enjoy the watering. So are they like a horse where they need to be watered? Do they get hot in that regard? So many different questions, but all about one animal from just, I don't know, 15 snippets or whatever I've seen here. Honestly, the only other thing that I can possibly think of that would be more humanified than this would just be going down a slip and slide, and I feel as though that may just be a little bit out of the moose's kind of wheelhouse, so to say. I don't think it would have the balance and coordination and even just ability to go down a slippery object. I mean, I guess ice is slippery, so maybe it would be in the perfect wheelhouse. I have no idea. Everything that I'm seeing today is just surprising me and shocking me, and also just making me go, that is ridiculously cute. So it's just incredible how one animal can give you so many quirks and features, as a certain someone might say, and all just within a couple of clips as well. It's not like I've just watched an entire 2-hour documentary. Honestly, I feel as though I kind of have, but I haven't at the same time. And so, man, Mooses are incredible animals, and I would love to learn more, so please enlighten me to some more quirks and features and incredible things that are positive about mooses, because like I said, we hear too many negative things about mooses, but they're pretty darn cool.